Hi, friends. Welcome back. My name is Mr. Reality, and I'm joined by world renowned psychic medium Liz Cross. Liz, how are you?
World renowned, that's a stretch.
Right, you are. Many people want to have an ear of yours. So I appreciate you giving us time. If you're not a member right now, go to patreon.com/, remote viewing and beyond, because this comes from your Patreon. So you asked your listeners to ask you questions for manifestation, the group of manifestation, the entity of manifestation. Everybody wants to manifest. And as a part of consciousness, even in our Monday morning meditation, we were working towards this goal. We did learn a lot. So wait for that one to be released and definitely spend an hour tapping through the blockages that we all have for manifestation. But I thought we could answer listener questions and Patreon member questions.
Yes, please.
All right. So can you grab consciousness of manifestation so we can dial up the questions?
Yep, I've got the consciousness of manifestation or manifesting here.
All right, this one comes from Max. Joshua, channeled by Gary Temple Bodley, is another entity who's somewhat similar to Abraham, but more specific. Can we ask Joshua's thoughts on manifestation and how his teaching would differ from Abraham Hicks?
How would so I'm asking manifesting or am I asking Joshua?
I don't know.
Oh gosh. Okay. How does Abraham Hicks give good information on manifesting? Yes. Overall, yes. And what about Joshua? I mean, it depends what mind frame you're in. I'm getting it depends the mind frame, the vibration, what resonates with you. You have to go with what feels good.
Okay. Should our task be on focusing on how we're manifesting our current reality or trying to create a new manifestation? Because there are a few different methods I've always read about see yourself there, have that mentality in the future to bring it into you. So the question would be, what should our task be, our primary task in bringing forth that manifestation?
What should be the primary task in bringing forth the manifestation? Removing blocks to manifesting is what I'm getting. I mean, you can say with your conscious mind that say Liz wants $10 million, okay? And
Okay.
say
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
right, yeah, see you later. No, which I wouldn't do that. It
Not
would
even
be
enough at this point. You need like I went to buy a ticket and they said it's $130 million, and I said I'll come back when it's 750. I'm not going to waste my time.
where are you going?
To the gas station to buy a ticket.
Oh, I thought you meant a ticket on a spaceship to leave. Okay, never
No,
mind.
I have those. That's leaving in 3 years.
Oh goodness. So if I say I won $10 million, I just said 10 million. Why? Because it's just so out there, right? And I say, actually, I'm living, my conscious mind is going to come to terms with the fact that I have it now. Because that's a technique that a lot of people use. They already say, or they act, or they talk as if they have what they want to manifest now, right? Does that work? No, that does not work. I'm getting a no from manifest, the consciousness of manifesting.
If you were to
Why
fully
does
understand that you're the center creator of reality, would you be more enlightened?
if you understand that you are the center creator, central creator of reality, would you be more enlightened? You would feel more powerful. Yes, you would you feel more enlightened? Yes, you would have a better understanding of the universe. Would you be allowed to manifest? Not necessarily, no.
Yeah,
You
I
can
got that you
manifest
would
what you
be
need.
I got you would be gaslit into thinking that you are enlightened when in fact you are not truly enlightened. So, is manifestation limited by your soul contract? Ooh, that's a good one. Thank you.
Is manifesting limited by your absolutely watertight? Yes.
So, on average, how many money blockages do people have that makes them not attract wealth?
On average, how many money blockages do people have? 700 or more.
Lots and lots and lots. So, how long would it take to move through those bookends of blockages in order to get to be that manifester?
How long would it take to remove those? Well, it depends on the technique.
Right.
It could take lifetimes.
Another question: what percent can I get beyond my soul contract regarding money? So, again, to clarify, if I'm 80% blocked with money, what does that mean? Am I blocking? This seems like a personal question, but am I blocking myself from an extra 50K, 100K, $1 million from coming to me?
It means that you only get by and you always have just enough what you need when you need it. No surplus, uh, enough to maybe not even, actually, I'm getting not even to feel comfortable. And that's the way your soul has designed it for that particular question, that you don't want to be comfortable here on the earth plane, because for whatever reason in your soul, if you get comfortable, you start to relax on your spiritual journey. And so the soul knows, well, I have to be uncomfortable in order to keep going and pushing through. And that's what they're doing. So a lot of times manifesting, and we talked about this morning in the CTT group.
Right.
And for those of you that are not aware, if you don't mind, Mr. Reality, we do have a backup channel, the CTT channel. You all need to be subscribed to that. Consciousness Transformation Technique channel with Liz Cross, right? This free energy healing right there. All of you should be subscribed. All of you should be doing it. But it really, it just, this person, their soul got the message a long time ago that it's just not beneficial for them to have money because they don't work towards a particular goal. Now, I'm not talking about being in survival mode. Being in survival mode is very, very different. That means I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where my next meal is coming from. I don't have a clue where I'm going to live. I'm sleeping on sofas. Sometimes I sleep in my car. I don't have a job. I'm running out of money, right? That's survival mode. That's a totally different level of vibration than somebody who is, my bills are paid and I have a few dollars left over at the end of the month, but not enough to be comfortable, be really comfortable.
All right. Let me get back to the questions. Then one person asked, are heart-based states of being, such as love, compassion, and gratitude, an important catalyst to visualization when manifesting? There's like
manifesting using visualizations of love, gratitude. Is that important to manifesting? I mean, yes and no.
I
It's
got the
important,
same.
right? What really? Because I got that. Yes, with your conscious mind, it puts you in a better vibrational state. But again, it's based upon the soul contract. How much money did you allot for yourself in this particular lifetime, during the time that you are here? That is the be all and end all. And if you look at the people at the top of the pyramid, right, whether you love them or hate them, I had somebody write in the comments, oh my God, Liz, you think Bill Gates and then, right? Okay, I don't care, right? But what's important about those people is why their soul allowed them to have so much money and power in this lifetime compared to the rest of us. That's what you should be
And then,
looking.
they've maybe sold their soul to demons, but that's another story for another time, possibly. Or maybe they're extraterrestrials, but that's another story for another time. No, we did that one before. No, they're not really. They're just at the top of the pyramid because that was in their soul plan.
Right. And their soul got the message a long time ago that money was a necessary tool in order to transform whatever it is they came here to do. Right. I'm not saying they're good people. I'm not saying they're bad people. But what I am saying is that their soul gave them permission to have a lot of money. So that's very, very important, because even though your conscious mind is trying to manifest, does your soul give you permission to have that over and above abundance than just getting by.
Does it?
No, not usually.
Someone asked about meditation. So, does the practice of doing daily, weekly manifestation rituals through manifestation, can that increase one's ability to bring it in?
Can that increase one's ability to bring it in? It can. And that's a good question because a lot of times the energy could be out there and it's labeled for us to receive it. But for whatever reason, those channels are closed. So that manifestation is not being allowed to land, in the right places. So say you want to manifest something. I mean, you had a very good manifestation recently, which was a new computer, right?
Right. And I also manifested some money this morning at CTT. I found a wallet that I didn't know that I had, and pow, all of a sudden now I have a lot of money that I just forgot about. They also ask about vision boards. And so I've always had a problem with vision boards because I feel like it doesn't draw it into you. It feels like, you're just putting it out there and making a hope, like a distant hope, like a lottery winnings. What about vision boards and manifestation?
So let's ask manifest it. Do vision boards help you bring the energy of manifesting into you? No, right? Vision boards are just a useful tool, is what I'm getting, to help you stick to your goals in the future. And vision boards are often like they're necessary items. So if you see that picture of like a vacation, or that's something that is attainable, for the most part, and you're working towards that goal. We're talking about over and above manifesting, right? I don't want to just manifest $20. Okay. And neither does any of the listeners. I mean, $20 is a lot of money, yes. But well, by today's standards, you can still buy something with that $20. But we're talking about manifesting an easier existence. So maybe let's ask this question. Is it that we need to structure our wording to manifest in a joyful, optimum way an easier existence? Now, those words would be better than using I want this and I want that. So, and also, excuse me, it's not limiting you. So, going back to the I want $10 million. Okay.
Not enough, but
Know
okay.
what I'm going to do with it, but whatever. Yeah, I guess I'll take a week off or whatever. But going back to the $10 million, right? That's a very specific amount that has been labeled. Well, first of all, the universe may want to hand you more than that, right? And
I'm agreeable
maybe
to that.
right. And maybe, just maybe, the universe may not be able to hand you that 10 million, but it can hand you things that make your existence a lot easier. But again, that's very subjective as to what you need that would make your life easier. Okay. But you always want to use the words joyfully and peacefully without negative consequences. Very, very important because of the karmic system we're living in and the exchange system, right? So you want to make sure you use without negative consequences as well.
Yeah, I will say that on the screen, I wouldn't advise using this language. It's just what I pulled up from Brave search engine. But going back to your listener questions, what would be the quickest way for us to manifest what we want, and how can we do this? Well, that's you can't get to the end of the block without walking down the block. So you can't. There's no
Yeah.
quick way to this. You got to remove all the blockages, and there are hundreds and hundreds of them. So you need to put in the work. That's the problem.
That's a fair point because a lot of people want to manifest something and they're sitting in their bedrooms all day, every day, and they're not doing anything to work on that manifestation, right? So So you can forget it. I want to manifest winning the lottery. Okay, but you're not leaving your bedroom to buy a ticket. Exactly. Not saying that you will. Just don't forget people that are lottery winners, right? That was in their
They
soul.
play the
That was
lottery a lot.
well, yes and no. Yes and no, but that was in their soul contract.
There some extraterrestrial manifestation methods that they use that might work for us.
Manifestation. Do ETs manifest? They don't need to manifest, right? They have whatever they want available to them. So do you have money? And no, they don't really have currency. They don't have money. It's just an energy system. But because we are in physical form here on the earth plane, right? And we're trying to manifest more things in physical form, that's when it becomes difficult because you've got to take energy and transmute it into some sort of physical form and then bring it into you. Or if this thing is already created in physical form, now you've got to remove it, dislodge it from wherever it is and bring it into you, right? So is there, somebody said, Bashar, excuse me, said something to the effect of staring into the mirror, looking at yourself in the eyes and trying to manifest. That intensifies the power behind your manifestation. And we've been discovering this, that mirrors are really powerful tool. They're exceptionally powerful,
Okay.
as long as
Is
you have good intentions behind them.
Since we got on mirrors, is there a different reality, or is it just magnifying it by looking into a mirror or seeing our reflection? What is that process so that we can understand it better? Are we peering into an alternate mirrored universe or existence?
The mirror, does it create an alternative universe? No. But what it does is it takes your energy that you have and you're looking in the mirror and now you've doubled it. Right? Does it double? Yes, it does. And if you're standing in front of 3 mirrors or 4 mirrors, like you do when you go to try on clothes in a dressing room, right? That is very optimal. So if
What if
you're
we go to the
doing this,
circus and they have that, they walk through and they're all the crazy mirrors. There's like the house of mirrors. Let's
right.
manifest in the house of mirrors.
But if you're sitting in, like, if you're doing manifesting through meditation or you're doing manifesting through whatever means, right? And you are completely encased in like a small space with mirrors, right? That really will intensify the energy that is sent out to the universe. And we learned that in the tapping group every Monday morning, 9 a.m. Central. But we learned that in the tapping group. But and then now I'm asking manifesting the same question, and I'm getting a very similar response back, which is mirrors intensify the energy as long as the intention. Now it's all about intention.
When not caring about the outcome seems to be when manifestation happens. Why is that? Someone asks.
Ooh, that's a good question. Is not caring about the outcome the key to manifesting? A lot of times, yes. So why is that? Because you have trust in the universe that the universe can take your request seriously and do its job. So if you're saying something and you're letting it go, it can happen for you.
Okay. Another ask on the concept perspective of self love and how healing the inner child is relevant to manifesting. There's been, I think, Leal Lowndes is one of the authors I read on healing your own trauma of the inner child. Does that need to be done, or is that a type of block that helps people manifest better?
Is that the type of block that helps people manifest better? No, no, because that may have nothing to do with your soul's agreement, contractual agreement with the money, energy. Money is energy. So it's about that contractual agreement with the soul. Because you can have somebody who is exceptionally wealthy. They can go back in and do the inner child work, right? And it doesn't matter. So it no, I'm getting a no on that.
Okay. Does musical frequency help with manifestation?
Ooh, these are good questions. Does musical frequency help with manifestations? Yes, but it has to be aligned to the frequency of what? Of absorbing energy, absorbing, but does it have to be monetary energy? Yes. So it looks like money has its own frequency, but it depends what form, right? Because Bitcoin is money, current, paper notes are money. So what are we talking about? If we're talking specifically about paper notes, right? That has a different vibrational frequency than crypto, than, stock shares.
A
So,
different vibration, right?
yeah, can we lump all of those different currencies into one vibration when we're trying to manifest? Yes, you can. So you kind of want to tune into that energy. But if you don't protect yourself properly, if you're bringing that energy strand into your being, somebody could use your energy field to manifest, and their positive becomes your negative. So you really have to think about that.
Can other discarnate entities or people within our soul group help us to manifest, or is it only a soul, I mean, only me process?
That's a good question. Do we need the soul family to agree upon the amount of money that we are to receive in this lifetime? It's helpful. Yes, it is
Ooh.
definitely helpful.
So here's
And
something I had a problem with too. Oh, go ahead.
no, you go.
Rhonda Byrne came up with The Secret, which was huge like 20 years ago, 30 years ago. What influenced her and what was missing in her The Secret for manifestation?
What was the secret for her manifestation? I mean, the secret was it was in her contract, right? But what this book did is it taught people about alignment, vibration, frequencies, that like attracts like. So whether you have a lot of negative energy, you're going to attract negative circumstances. If you have a lot of positive energy, you're going to attract positive circumstances. So does that help? What do you think?
Someone also asked about the 369 method, which is popular on TikTok world. Does that help
The 369 method,
for
does that
manifesting?
for manifesting? It does. It does work. I've kind of heard of it, but what do? They write
I,
down
like I spend time on TikTok. I don't know.
3 times in the
um,
morning, 6 times in the afternoon, 9 times at night for 33 or 45 days. Does that work? It can help bring that energy to you. So if that energy is labeled for you, whatever it is you're trying to manifest, the 369 method, as long as it is already labeled for you, helps you to receive it. Yes,
here,
that's a good question.
here's a question which I might butcher, but it comes from one of your listeners. What is the difference in frequency from an energy block versus a thing that is manifested? Like, is that how can we visualize that frequency differential?
Ooh, gosh, that's a good question too, because just because I may manifest $10 million doesn't mean that everything's going to be rosy. That could mean that it brings a lot of negatives with it. What is the frequency? Sorry, repeat that question for me.
What is the frequency differential between the block to manifestation and the manifestation? Is it an inverse? Is it?
What is the frequency differential to the block's manifestation? Well, it's like a wall. And it's the blockage is like a brick wall. It's almost like you can't get past it. It's actually stronger and more dense energy than the energy of manifesting. So manifesting seems to be like a light, airy, flowing sort of frequency. But this wall frequency, this blockage, is very, very difficult to remove. And it requires you to expand your consciousness. It requires you to do a lot of processing, a lot of healing, right, in order to move it. Because you're dismantling it brick by brick. So it could be, a layer of
Right.
anger that is sitting on top of a layer of fear, that is sitting on top of a layer of, disgust or self-hate, whatever it is, right? So it's very much more difficult to dismantle, whereas the manifesting, it has to go where it is wanted and loved and accepted. And I've said this before. If you have any negative attachments to people with money, guess what you are not going to manifest, right? Why? Because you are so resistant to money. Why would it flow into you? If you hate and you're jealous and you're envious and you are, you think people with excess are greedy and they're filthy and they're horrible people and they're this and they're that, right? You will not manifest money. So I would say that is between you and your soul and your consciousness, your subconscious, many layers there. And you need to fix that, right? Because I know that a lot of times we grow up in cultures where it is deemed as horrific if somebody has a little bit more than someone else. And if you are brainwashed in that way, then you will not manifest. You will spend your life, and then what happens is your dark energy becomes darker. Why? Because what did I do wrong? Why didn't I get to manifest? Why do they have it and I don't? Right? So anytime you're thinking in those terms, you're building upon the dark wall energy that's already there, and it's just getting larger and larger and larger. So you won't
Giving more
manifest.
bricks. Right. This is a great question, and I'm going to try and paraphrase it from one of your listeners. It seems like whenever we talk about manifestation, there's always money at the other end of that. And so you're going to have blockages for that. But this question goes in a different way. So I say what I truly want is peace. Peace to me means freedom to choose what I want to do throughout my day, a quiet family, land, home for my kids, my family, my animals, and my garden. So to make that a reality, I need the tool of money to get me there. So should I focus on the tool of money, or should I focus on manifesting that reality?
I don't know, but I hope that if they get it, they serve tea in their garden and they invite Liz Cross to come over for a cup of tea
But
and look at their
it's a great
garden.
question because she recognizes the difference. And, I know that I need money to get there, but that's not really what I want. I just want, you know, the relaxation and what that can bring to me and the joy and the security. So is it
Exactly.
better to focus on the end of the rainbow rather than the pot of gold?
Ooh, so is it better to focus on what that money would bring, the emotions that money would bring into you, more so than the money itself? Whoa, I'm getting like mixed answers here. So
Oh,
let's
it was a great question, by the way.
it
Thank you.
is a great question. So would it be that the manifesting phrase would be to easily and joyfully manifest an optimum life of a peaceful existence without negative consequences. That is, but it feels like it's at a slower pace because peace can come in many different forms, right? So it feels slow to me. If you're wanting a rapid fire sort of, rapid fire result, then you would go for the monetary system. That was an excellent question.
Yes, thank you. Here's another great one. And these aren't mine, they're from you all out there. So thank you for submitting them. When was manifestation created here on the earth plane?
Ooh, when was manifesting created here? Or the idea of it? Oh, this goes back millions of years. It goes back to wishful thinking, right? Because manifesting essentially is wishful thinking. And I wish I could find, if you're an insect, I wish I could find something to eat. I wish the weather wasn't so dry. I wish the weather wasn't so it's evolved over time. I wish there were more crops. I wish our crops weren't ruined. I wish there was peace. So over time, wishful thinking has come into being defined as, certain wishful thinking has come into what is known as the art form or the technique of manifesting. So it's always been there. The mere fact that we're down here in physical form and we are experiencing a level of dissatisfaction and uncomfortable and suffering and these feelings, right? It's always going to make us want a different experience. Nobody says, oh, yeah, I actually like suffering here on the earth plane. Yeah, this is great. The more suffering, the better,
Super
right?
fun. Yeah. Does the full moon or a new moon increase my ability to manifest?
Ooh, does the full moon increase the ability? Yes, it does, exponentially so. So, is
Wow.
it
Why?
right bang on the full moon? Yes, right bang on the full moon. What about when the full moon starts going into the phase of where it's, going? No, it has to be the 3 days leading up to the full moon.
The 3 days leading up to the full moon. Why is that work?
Why does that work? Because it's more power. It's more magnified. The earth's energy and the energies on the earth are more active.
What energy is that then? What are we tapping into and what's magnified?
What are
And
we what are we tapping into? The opportunity of a more or a higher energy existence, right? So it actually allows us opportunities to manifest more so than at other times. What about the new moon? No, the new moon, no, not really.
does my astrological sign affect or hinder my ability to manifest?
Ooh, does my astrological sign hinder or affect my ability to manifest? It does, because the natal data that you are born with, the time,
Wow.
place, location, right? All of that is very, very, it's all predetermined to bring about certain energetic circumstances in your life. So it is very, very important. And you could be locked in, right? Most of us are locked in to that particular astrological reading. If you use the natal data and you give yourself or you obtain an astrological reading, yes. Does it mean that some signs, astrological signs, can manifest easier than others? Yes, and usually those with lacking in empathy. I don't know
Hmm.
why it just told me that, but it did.
Are subliminal messages effective in reprogramming our subconscious, which is kind of a distraction from the manifestation? But I think what they're asking indirectly is it helpful in reprogramming and or is it helpful in removing blocks that I have to manifestation?
Ooh, can I tell you, we have such a smart crowd. Do subliminal messages help with regards to manifesting? Not directly, but what does subliminal mean? So it helps you do the inner work unconsciously, right? So if you're running a program of subliminal messages while you're sleeping, your body and your subconscious and different levels of consciousness are now being told to go through and sweep through and maybe transmute dark for light and et cetera, et cetera. So it can be effective in that way, yes.
All right. There's one more that I wanted to ask you about. This is a guy, Angelo Borden, who had the Life Physics Institute in California. I can't find any pictures of him, but he came up with the idea of the light encoded reality matrix manifest production observership method of manifestation. Does the LERM MPO method work towards manifesting?
It
Everyone's
does.
like, what did he just say?
Right. What language are you speaking? It does.
All right. I'm probably one of the few people who understands what this means. So if you're interested in learning more about that, I really should offer classes on Learn MPO for manifestation because it's a way to create a hologram around you and then populate that hologram with light. And then the light from the other side transposes onto this side. And then you have whatever it is that you wished for. Fascinating process, but it's requires a lot of in-depth study and manifestation and deep theta manifestation too. So is the brainwave state important when you're doing your manifestation visualizations?
Ooh, is the brainwave state important when you're doing your manifestation Yes, exceptionally important. Very, very
With
important.
LERM, we need to get into a deep theta state too. So I practiced that for a long time, and it's hilariously shocking at how quickly things manifest in that because you're creating sort of an alternate matrix overlay for what you have in this reality. Truly cool stuff. So I want to thank each and every one of you out there who submitted those questions to Liz on the Patreon. Again, if you're not a member, join patreon.com/remote viewing and beyond. You get a bunch of videos that we don't post on YouTube that are hidden, that are concealed, that you'll never know about unless you go there. And Liz, I wanted to thank you, and I also want to thank all the listeners for all those questions.
Well, thank you. Don't forget, Mr. Reality has a tip jar down below,
Oh,
folks.
one last thing. I'm doing a scalar healing thing. Could I use the scalar healing device that I'm building to help and amplify manifestation?
Oh, that's a good question. Can we use the scalar healing device that Mr. Reality is building to amplify the ability to manifest? Yes. And what you have to do is it has to go through in layers. So it has to be blockage removal followed up by manifesting.
Okay.
Wow.
700 times, 701 times for the
Oh,
blockages
how
removal.
many times? Like
You
how
said
many times?
701 earlier. So, it's got to be on a lot of cycles.
Does it have to be a lot of cycles? Yeah. I mean, if manifesting was easy, everybody would be doing it, right? Manifesting is very frustrating, but what we
Everyone's a billionaire. Woo.
right, but right, but what we do know is if at any point in time that the intention behind your manifesting means that you will separate and disassociate yourself from your spiritual journey and your spiritual growth and evolution here in this lifetime on the earth plane, guess what you're not going to be able to do, right? Because that is the key. That is the be all and end all to being here on the earth plane. So if that going back to that peaceful life question, is it peaceful life so I can spend more time on my spiritual development and learning, then that's going to allow more for the manifestation to come in. If it's all my troubles are over, I can just, live a good life and go boating on Sundays, or I don't know why spirit just gave me that, like put my feet up and not have to
Go
worry about
fishing. Yeah, it's Sunday. Might as well.
right what this is and why we're here and trying to make heads or tails of this, right? You will not be able to manifest. Or if you do, they will give it to you quick as quickly as they take it away, right? Because that's a lesson too. A lot of times people get given things and then it's gone, and that is a really hard lesson to learn, right?
This
Because
came
mm-hmm.
this came to me as a vision, so I'm going to ask you just in a way. You always say that you're on a predetermined course, that it's unalterable in your existence, and that you set that course before you came down here. So, if we have the ability to manifest, and if we remove these blockages, as we've talked about, what level are we able to alter that course? How many degrees are we able to either, swing to the more positive, eventful outcomes versus the chart, the course that we charted before we came down to the earth plane?
Okay, that's a great question. So, what are we able to alter the course? No, not necessarily, but it could mean that your soul has those things out there available to you, but part of the journey is you have to find how to connect with those things, right? And maybe the soul says, well, it's not important if you do. Maybe the soul set up a reward system is what I'm getting. So the more you're climbing through your spiritual journey, the more maybe your soul is rewarding you. It all depends upon what the soul has set out for you in this lifetime. I don't feel that you can change the course, but I do feel that you may have been set up with a reward system.
Are there different forks in the road that we set up predetermined before we come down here to say it could have outcome A, B, C, D, or E, but it's going to have one of them? Because people don't
Ooh,
want to believe that they're living a predetermined life.
I know, because it's crummy, isn't it? Right? Do we have different forks in the road? So if we complete so much of our spiritual journey, we now get to take fork A as opposed to fork B. Does that happen? No, but it means that you will be rewarded along that journey to keep you on that manifestation, that spiritual uh, enlightenment, right? So that is key. I mean, there's many keys to manifesting, but that is certainly one of them. Again, it's about not dropping that quest for enlightenment, because
Yeah.
the second you do, or the second you think all your problems are over and you're just going to kick back and relax and enjoy life without having this spiritual journey, you're not going to manifest. Like, it's just plain as anything to me. You're not going to manifest at all.
So
And
I
don't
think that,
forget, hold on. Don't forget what manifesting is saying is, you know, you're connecting for whatever reason. Your personalities and your consciousness has been shaped, even to the point where you're listening to this video today. Your consciousness will probably be totally different in the next lifetime. You may not even be on this manifesting quest, this ability to have this spiritual enlightenment. So it's really about seizing the moment, understanding that time is very finite. We're only here for a short amount of time in the grand scheme of things for a soul's journey, the soul's purpose. You don't want to ruin that, right? So it's about dedicating time each day for whatever it is you're doing. And if manifesting brings you to that spiritual journey, then so be it. And if that's what brings you in and causes you to dig and search and discover who you are, why you are the way you are, what we're doing here, then you could just be breadcrumbs by the universe in order to keep you on that journey.
and I wanted to say that I think my biggest takeaway from this conversation is that I think one of the biggest blocks that we create for ourselves is kicking ourselves for not having done something, shoulda, woulda, coulda, when we really did focus on I'm gonna and what you're going to do next, not beat yourself up for what you didn't do before, because the
Right,
time is always right.
right. Because if you're too busy looking back and dwelling
That's a
over
block.
that, yeah, that's a block. That's huge, because your consciousness is stuck in this, looking backwards instead of what can I do to better myself and remove these blockages and go forward, right? You have to shift gears in your mental status.
That's right. Well, hey, everybody, again, thank you for those questions. They were great. Really enjoyed them. And Liz, thank you for answering them. Consciousness, manifestation, everyone else, thanks so much.
Yeah,
See you
don't
next
forget
time.
about his tip jar down below. Thank
Bye,
you.
y'all.